Measure by Measure is my new membership program that I'm working on making. I'm like going to launch it soon. Where am I at with that so far? I've completed what I'm calling issue 1 because I'm thinking of it as sort of like this magazine style thing where it's like every month there's like a new issue. And what I'm doing is picking a bunch of new pieces to work on and then working on them live. We're just recording videos of it. And then I do go through and edit so that I'm respecting people's time. So I try to be efficient with things, but I also want to go in depth. And that's why I think it's so vital that this be a membership thing and not just like a one-off course. When you come into a new space, it's always like this feeling of like learning what you can and can't do. I want to try to connect the dots a little bit between my experience as someone who's starting this new membership site. And it's kind of this kind of fun, scary thing. I'm a little bit excited. I don't know exactly what it's going to turn into. I want to relate that to learning how to practice the piano and learning how to become a pianist, how to be a pianist. And what does that mean? When you're new at something, it's super awkward at first. Like you can feel really insecure, you can feel kind of scared, you can feel anxious about it. What happens in that space so often at the piano is that people just kind of give up on it. It's like, this isn't what I thought, this isn't going anywhere, I'm going to just kind of walk away from it, and then they don't come back to it. I want to make sure that it's clear that I'm talking about the feelings that you experience when you're a beginner at something, when you're new at something, or that when you are once again new at something. It could be that you've played piano for a long time and you're coming back to it and it feels awkward. Like trying to make those new steps and make those new improvements can feel really awkward. You're not exactly sure what it is or how you should feel about that. And unfortunately, it's hard to predict that when you're the person stepping into it, right? I can see students come into piano and start working on it, and they will express certain things. I'm like, yes, that's predictable. I've seen this before. We need to be better at just making space for allowing it to feel the way it's going to feel that we can't predict. Can't predict how it's going to feel to be a beginner at something, and just allow it to be that. Launching Measure by Measure, I'm looking at that. I'm like, will people want this? Will people like this? Will this be helpful for people? And allowing it to change and morph into something that hopefully is more and more helpful and iterative. And that's so important to me. It's such a practice principle to me that I have to be able to make this better next month. I have to do it again and address some of the concerns that people had with the month previous. I have to be able to respond to things in a way that feels good to me as an educator and I know can be helpful for people as learners. And one of the things I've learned coming into this space, and it's been awkward for me to like step into the online space, honestly. I felt like really attracted to it, like I want to be there and then show up and like talk on YouTube and then like, sit at the piano and like try to teach in that space. And it's taking me a while to learn my voice, and the consistency is really helpful and it's fun for me. But again, it's scary and it was awkward at first. And so you have to learn like what is this and what can I be here and what can't I be? Because I learned like one of my frustrations with the one-off courses that I'd make a course and then like, first of all, I wouldn't feel like it was totally complete. It's just like, you can only spend so many months on it. It's like, so you have to like wrap things up and then roll it out somehow. And the one I'm thinking about most is Piano Notes Bootcamp, where I would like teach kind of how to anchor things on the keyboard, like how to take sheet music and look at it a certain way so that you could anchor it to the keyboard a little bit better, develop that eye and hand or visual and tactile connection a little bit with the keyboard as it relates to sheet music. And I was really proud of that course. I really liked that approach. I've simplified it. I worked really hard to keep it very simple and short. And I had a lot of people purchase that course and just like never even like log in to access it. And they never contacted me, like, because it wasn't like a technical issue. It was just like they just bought it and kind of forgot about it. Oh, I'll get to it this weekend. And they just never got to it. And I would practice, like reaching out to people like that to see like, hey, are you going to, what'd you think of the course? Just try to like remind them that they purchased it. And nothing still. And it's just interesting to see that. you have to be a pianist before you can say you are a pianist. What does that mean? It just means that you have to show up, right? And you can be a pianist and feel insecure about it and feel new at it and feel confused and whatever. You can feel all those new beginner feelings and still identify as, oh yeah, I'm a pianist now, right? You can be that. You can claim that you are. It's the same thing as like piano teachers. You honestly could say, I teach piano lessons having never had a piano lesson. I've had lots of piano lessons. I've got 2 degrees in piano performance. And I've taught, many, many, many piano lessons. And so I think like I've got some credentials there, but there's nothing like preventing people from just saying that they have that and doing it. That's not me. I've got the degrees. The same thing exists for learners. You don't have to have a credential. You don't have to have, there's no credential that says you are now officially a pianist. It's just something that you identify as. It's just something that you say, okay, that's part of me. And it doesn't have to be all of you. It obviously doesn't need to be all of you. And allow that to be what that is. If you are from the future and you're seeing this video and you made it this far for some reason, I will put a link to where you can learn more about my membership site below. And if it's not there yet, then I haven't launched it yet. So stay tuned. It's coming soon. Thank you for listening. Bye.